Hello and welcome. We're here today with the famous Dr. Young, and I'm Ronnie Ruiz, and we were just discussing why Dr. Young is the favorite amongst many to attack, to belittle, to try and chop down, to criticize. And I don't think the majority of the world population really has a clue of just how attacked you've been over the years and what are some of the things that certain groups have done to attack you and to discredit you.
Yeah, well, you know, it's been going on for 30 years, so it's nothing that's new to me. Having been arrested in the early 90s, arrested in the early 2000s.
And what were you arrested for?
Well, I was arrested for practicing medicine without a license, and of course, it's not that I cannot be licensed, but I look at license as a dog collar, you know, to control me as it relates to what I'm doing, and what I'm doing is teaching people how to eat, how to live, how to exercise. Doesn't require a license, either in the state of California or in the state of Utah. In fact, there should be no license required for anyone to be able to give good health advice. If they've got the education or the experience, which I do. My basic education has been in the sciences. I've loved biology since I was a little boy, and I've studied it over the years, not just in elementary schools and junior high and high school, but also at the university. I have a composite type education. It combines both conventional, both traditional and non-traditional education. Yes, I've gone to the university. I went to the universities on full ride scholarship as an athlete, not as a biologist. But my interest was biology. My good friend Bill Benyon, when we played at the University of Utah on the tennis team, I mean he was graduating in biology. I was studying biology, and this was our second passion. I mean, after I left university, like some of my colleagues like Jimmy Connors and Roscoe Tanner and Stan Smith and others who were playing at that time said, hey, you know, why are we staying here in school? Let's go make some money. Well, at that particular time, I got married, and I was going to have a family. I started traveling professionally as an athlete to make money, and I did that till I was age 29, and that's when I retired from professional sports. But it provided a good lifestyle, and I'm grateful for that talent, which was taught to me by my father, who also attended the University of Utah. And I had a great coach and great mentors, and so I've always been motivated to achieve the best of whatever that I've been engaged in. And so, you know, I was at a point in my life of confusion. You know, what should I do with the rest of my life? I was bored being retired, and I thought, let's go back to my beginning love. And it was Shelley that encouraged me to do this, to go back to biology, and so that's what I did. And I went back to nutrition, and I started studying nutrition. I started studying naturopathy and homeopathy, and and I started studying live and dry blood cell analysis. I had the opportunity to go to Germany to study under Dr. Marie Blecker, who was a protege of a great scientist, Dr. Enderlin, who was studying, you know, Pasteurian theory and a new theory called pleomorphism, which I was very, very intrigued in. But it was through her and others like her that I learned dark field microscopy, through phase contrast microscopy, and learned bright field, and a science that had been published in a major journal.
Were those people being attacked back in that time the way you are today and have been?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, I really didn't get into it because I wasn't really thinking that was a possibility. I thought, oh, great, people are going to be open to new ideas.
Right.
They're going to be open to new discovery. Absolutely just the opposite. Don't fix it. Don't change it. It ain't broken. You know, we're fine the way we are. You know, so don't teach us anything new that we don't already know. And it's amazing what people don't know, particularly in the medical community, and not to malign them at all. It's just, you know, it's just I'm surprised at the lack of knowledge and understanding on some of the most important parts, like the digestive system, like the lymphatic system, particularly nutrition and health and wellness and being and exercise, exercise physiology. And so those are the things that I was attracted to. But I was arrested. I was arrested in Utah for practicing medicine without a license.
And what was the end result of that arrest?
The end result was two things. They would drop the charges. They would leave one charge left if I would pay a fine of $35 of a misdemeanor for practicing medicine without a license. My attorney said, "Hey,
$35?
$35." So I paid a $35 fine, and I went back doing what I was doing before. And I did that from 1994 until 2001. 2001, Shelley and I decided that we wanted to move, not move literally because we still have our home in Alpine, Utah, but to buy this ranch here in San Diego. And so it was interesting because just prior to us deciding that, I was arrested again. And for practicing medicine without a license. And
was it by the same people?
The same people. It was like, here they come again. I'm on stage. I'm talking to thousands of people. And they timed it Friday night when the banks are closed, because they wanted me to spend time in jail over the weekend. So they arrested me in the evening time. People were just appalled at what was going on. They took me out in handcuffs. And I said, "Don't go."
In front of the audience.
The whole audience. I said, "Don't go away. I'm coming back." And so somebody called Shelley. She went to our safe, where we have emergency cash, and she bailed me out within an hour. They thought, because the banks are closed, there's no way this guy's going to bail himself out. So she brought the cash, got me out. I came back and finished my lecture, and everybody gave me a standing ovation and cheered and said, "Wow, this guy's got a lot of resilience." What's keeping him going? I'll tell you what's keeping me going. The love of life, the love of people, and that I truly do care. And I can't just extract that feeling out of myself as I don't care anymore when people are suffering. And it's hard for me to see people suffer, particularly whether it's financial, whether it's health-wise, whatever there is. So I've always tried to lend a hand to someone in need. And that's the way I've been all my life. When I remember when I was living in London for 2 years, I saw a woman lying on the street in London, and people were walking by, and I was in my car driving. I stopped immediately and helped this woman because I couldn't resist the fact that someone was in need of help that appeared to be injured, and I was able to help that woman. And this is the way I've been all my life. And so when people are in need, well, what happened to those charges? There were 3 charges of practicing medicine without a license. I didn't plea bargain at all on those because I saw what the internet did with what I did before. They trumped up the fact that I admitted to a misdemeanor charge of practicing medicine. They don't mention the fact that I paid $35 fine and the fact it was a plea bargain just to make this thing go away. Well, I said, there's no way I'm going to do this again. So I'm not going to plea bargain because I haven't done anything wrong. I mean, the last thing I would do is practice medicine, let alone with or without a license. It just wouldn't happen. Right. Because I've thought about going back to medical school, and the question keeps coming up, what's the point? So I can learn and then have to unlearn everything that I've learned there,
right,
other than just to experience, a type of education that I'm really not looking to really participate in. So I on the 3 counts they dropped them, and it was over. It was all an intimidation. It was all government. It was all political, and it was all for harassment with the primary agenda to put me out of business.
Amazing.